Hey everyone, happy Saturday. How are you? It is the last day of February, can you believe it? February 28th. Don't mind all the noise, my cats are highly active right now. They're eating, they're moving around. 5 seconds ago, they were all laying, and now they're all just active all of a sudden. So, let's cleanse the energy, shall we? So, I hope you had a wonderful Friday, and that your Saturday's been going well. Admittedly, mine has been decent. Get this to sit up straight. I was actually going to do some tarot, but not just any today. I was going to do a reading solely on healing. So, there's a spread about healing, and I was going to do a healing read. So, that's what I'm going to do. We're going to see what wound comes up for the collective. And we'll go from there. So, yeah. Welcome in, all newcomers, and welcome back to anybody else. These will be general energies, general readings. If you want personal read or personal energies for yourself, obviously, contact me. Information is below. Remember, wounds, anything you're trying to heal can be brought in from prior lives, but it can also be created within this life, okay? The first placement is what trauma, what wound is present within the collective. Yeah, I have denial. And then right behind denial was communication, so I'm going to put it back though. So that could be the voice though. Denial can come through as neglect. Okay, denying something, neglecting something. And then I was just told to split, and then mother was there. So, and that's the bottom way of time management routine, but denial. So we'll go ahead and talk on denial. Denial is like neglect. emotional impact. I thought I had my emotion. One sec, I have to grab my, I thought I had him. I don't. Be right back. Okay. Now I have my emotion block cards. Created these years back when I was doing long distance Reiki and emotion healing, emotion block removal and healing for people. So, and the emotional impact of this wound in the collective life, please. How many do you want? I heard start with 3. So as you can tell, just from that response, there's usually more than one emotion that's involved with these. Rage. Fear. Wow. That one. Sadness. And at the bottom of the deck, feeling taken for granted. Okay. And then how, so think of it like this. We're gonna denial. And with the mother and the communication. You know, when something's denied you, how does that feel? Let's say it's something you need, or you feel you need, or you feel entitled to. Could these be some of the reactions one would feel? You're fearing it because possibly you've had it in the past and it didn't feel good then. And then these are repercussions of it. And that makes you feel taken for granted. When something is denied you by someone or something else, you feel neglected. And you feel invisible. These wounds are very deep. Let me go ahead, because I don't think I have this one wrote down yet, so I'm just gonna go ahead. Yeah, it's an emotional injury. So when okay, I'm even gonna go ahead and add in something though with that, because I want to. So it's basically when, for many, we're talking core wounds. See, on my channel, it's all about healing wounds, healing things within yourself. Usually, most people do not know they have these because they get them so early on. The shadow work is a necessary in order to become your best and highest self. As adults, we have to remove these things because they wind up being blocks to us. In big ways, they can block us in all the things we want to attain. Money, success, love, buying that first house or first car, or having a first successful relationship, moving, finances, attaining that, that first career, not just job, but career. Having and maintaining successful connections for the long term, and making friends and holding them. Having good work ethic. All of that really ties into healing these things that we don't tend to even know exist. If you watched yesterday's video, a perfect example was the child down the hall that was screaming and its parent not listening and continuing forward with whatever. Core woundings, denial, neglect, often come from childhood, and it is based typically around caregivers. So people with these kinds of wounds don't like to be alone. They are people pleasers. They please people because in essence they want to be pleased. They've never been pleased. Say that again. They want people to please them because they've never been pleased. So they're people pleasers. They go around and they don't really know how to say no. They'll do everything for everyone because they're neglected. They've been denied basic needs in a lot of ways. Basic love, basic care. And this has affected their self-worth, their self-confidence, their basic growth from childhood moving forward. And I'm getting chills up my spine. How do I know any of this? I've been there. I have been there and have healed this stuff to the extent that I can actually share it and say, if you're there, I know that feeling. I've been a people pleaser. Couldn't say no to nothing. No one. I wanted to be the best in everything. I wanted to be that perfectionist. I wanted to be the bright star for everyone. I wanted to save everyone but myself. Because I didn't realize that in saving me, I was helping everybody else. That wasn't how I saw it. I saw it different. So, at the end of the day, neglect and denial wounds, they come from being denied attention from the people we believe and feel matter to us. Parents, caregivers, siblings, those who matter in our lives. Partners, boyfriends, girlfriends, because this doesn't only have to be childhood. As you get older, this will come with you. It comes along. As it's not healed, it just becomes bigger and grows deeper, and usually comes with addiction issues and other wounds that need to be healed as well. And you people please because you fear being denied. What is it that you were denied? Love, attention, care, joy, compassion. So positive emotions. Basic positive human emotions. You could have very well been denied that. You could have also been denied other things. You could have been denied a home. You could have been denied your voice. You could have been denied basic liberties moving forward. Your spiritual gifts, per se. I was just told that, based upon whatever religion you were raised. Let's say you had something going on, but that happened to me. But because of who you were born to be, that was suppressed because of your parents and their belief systems. They didn't align. And so what you were meant to be was denied you and neglected to you. And so you might have spent a great deal of your life dealing with things like depression, anxiety. You might have had other disorders and not realized at all that it was simply because of an emotional wound giving to you that could be healed, and that all of the rest of this junk would go away. Just like that. I know, I've done it. Abilify, bye-bye. Prozac, bye-bye. Whatever meds I was on for depression, which I was on, bye-bye. I don't remember because it's been a long time, but I was on things to help me sleep, things to help me be happy, things to help me stay happy, and when I couldn't stay happy, I had to be on things to help make those pills more amplified, which was Abilify, if I remember. And then, you know, let's not forget all the, you know, side effects of all that medicine. Why do we go to medicine when? Because we're not dealing in the right area. Medicine's here because it's a moneymaker. Western medicine is not the answer, because our bodies weren't made that way. We can heal ourselves, and that's what my channel is about: healing yourselves. My name is Samantha Lee. I own Soul Pathways. I have a master's degree in counseling, where I specialize in alternative medicine and therapies. I've spent a long time on the mind-body connection, The Secret, laws of attraction, spirituality, and such. Years, decades even. And even before I knew what they were called, I knew of them and dealt with them. So I want to see here how this is affecting the collective now, because how are these emotions showing up now? I want to know if they're now, are they brought in from the past? You know, now I've got two piles of these cards here. So, I'm being told to take this one. So this is a elephant for a long journey. So this has been something that's been going on a long time. I am even getting past life for some of you, bringing it forward. If not, this started in childhood. Only take it if it resonates. How many from each? You want to do, so we have denial, rage, fear, and sadness. You want to do 2 cards from each per emotion, or 2 cards each all around? Okay, they told me to flip this one over. This is past life, childbirth. It says right here, childbirth. I always take the one right at top. So, they're telling me to look to both sides. So, Middle East could be a past life that where you were born in the Middle East. Or you could live there now, or just take what resonates. So, this could be in a past life from birth, from childbirth, that you've had this going on. Oh. Okay. And they're saying that it's tied into abandonment. And they're telling me to put it under fear. So the fear is that this neglect will lead to abandonment. That's why the people pleasing is here. Sun means clarity. Yes. This is a yes to that, what I just said. Yes. Whoever I'm speaking to, this energy that I've got going on here, the neglect brings up fear. They people please to neglectful people because they're afraid of being abandoned. And it could be a masculine. Money. These people might, okay, couple. These people might use this person for money, or he might be the one that does all the work. He might be a workaholic, or she or he. I just said he because masculine is with the sun, but it doesn't have to be. It could be a feminine with the sun too. Okay, so, and I was just told elephant is typically family. Think of how elephants stay together, but tribe as well. So this could be a community of people that are using a singular person for, like, extorting money, blackmail. It's almost like, yeah, using this person. And he allows it, or she allows it, because of their wounding. Okay, other deck? Okay. Okay. Drinking. Alcohol might play and partying. So escapism. This says celebration, fun, and enjoyment. So this is tied into a couple things. This person might do this to the extent to escape. Not that they truly want to do this, but they do it because that's what everybody else wants to do. So they're a people pleaser. But they also do it alone now because it's become an addiction. to soothe internal pressures, pains. So there could be take what resonates. Could be dealing with somebody who has a problem with alcohol. Could be an alcoholic. Might need help there, alleviating that. As well as providing a constant monetary assistance for others to enjoy life freely, where they don't have to do anything to have access to this. It's she or he does the work and they take. He or she gives, they take. And my understanding here is they're aware. They're aware that this hurts him, financial, or her, financial pinch. So, two things. They come to him for money all the time, putting him in odd spots, or her in odd spots, places. Fish might be important to this person. They might like fish, eating it, or they might like to go fishing, be in nature. Just saying. Could live on the ocean. Lobster is an ocean thing. So, they could have recently put this person in a very hard way, financially speaking. Told me to look at the bottom of the deck. There's a turkey here. Okay. So, with the turkey, okay, so I just heard gluttony. So this wasn't to do with other people. This person is spending their money not very wisely. Another form of escape is what I'm hearing. This person could be an animal lover. Animal lover just popped out. But in terms of loving people, they might be very, let me get it under the right, where am I? Right here. Possessive. They might be very possessive when it comes to love. Why? They've never gotten love. So when they do get the taste of it, they don't know how to handle it healthily. Because they've never had a positive, healthy example of what that is. And they haven't healed from all the wounding piled on them. And then, though they may have started with the tortoise, this is a slow mover. Could be an earth sign with the animal. Again, animals. But doesn't have to. This is slowly the money ran out, but also slow, since I was talking about the healing. These wounds slow to heal because I don't think he or she was aware. Okay, so now they want to talk about how to support, or what is in support of what can support the nervous system of this person now. Love, self-love, heart healing, chakra, heart chakra healing, but love, care, and affection. Let me point this out. Not from others, from self. It starts with you. Remember, your best armor in all this world will always be your own love. You'll find that as you start to love yourself, things will begin to shift around you and within you. If you were somebody who hated to be alone, you'll find you're getting better at being alone. You might even become choosy about who you want around you, especially as you grow your own confidence, work on your self-esteem, self-care. Supporting the nervous system. What else? Your tongue. Okay. This one? This one. Okay. So, right here, with the scissors, they're saying to cut out people that don't make you feel good. People, places, things, habits, thought patterns. So work there about cutting things out and away from your life. Okay? Because they're just going to serve things that serve to disappoint you, serve to be proofs of consistent disappointment. Okay? And this is what will help improve the state of your life, on top of working on your heart healing. Oddly enough, news from a fair woman. So, the way I'm looking at this, birds are messengers. You can take this message for what it is. I was told it could be this message from me. But there might be somebody else, or you yourself have blonde hair. Or you know somebody who has white hair. Because this is also, or gray. White or gray hair. Blonde, white, gray hair. And I'm getting yeah, it is about doing the work. So, I mean, with the table here, the message is a positive one about doing the work to remove issues from your life with the ink pot here. So, yeah. And after that, we have the wall, which is misunderstandings. So, yeah. So, for some of you, learning new ways to heal could be helpful. Taking in advice from somebody around you, or online, myself or somebody else, might be helpful at this time. Last. Okay, so we got the key. Okay, they told me to take the bottom. The key is not to overthink this, and this card here is about worrying. Being an overthinker to the state of worrying yourself too much. Don't worry. Don't overthink. What they want you to do, rather, is to learn to trust your intuition. which is your connection to something higher. Worry and thought is here. Intuition is here, and it's connected to your heart, which is also connected here, but it's through your crown to your higher power. All chakra related. Different place within your brain completely than worry. The key to forward movement and healing here is to develop a trusting relationship with yourself, with your higher self, with your higher power, and trust the information, your gut information, that you're getting. Yeah. What cards? What are you? Okay. Okay. Oh, these ones. Okay, so those are ways to support yourself. I could add and will to that. When it comes to neglect and denial and healing, I would have to add in a few things. Self-love is key, but so is self-care. What better way can we say, I love you, self, than to care for ourselves first and foremost. When it comes to healing, a connection with a higher power was the first thing I did. I mean, let's face it, when things get really hard, most of us tend to either look up or fall to our knees and bow our heads. I mean, really hard. Like, I don't see a way out of this hard. Or my heart is breaking, or I can't believe this is happening, or, you know, where are the answers? I need answers hard. Develop a relationship with whatever your higher power is. It doesn't have to be conventional. I know I'm certainly not conventional. I just encourage you to have faith in something more substantial than yourself, because something is here for you that loves you and will help you. These laws exist for a reason, and they are present 24/7, regardless if you believe in them. They're present and active. You being a part of them will show, and you not being a part of them will show. You'll either be a conscious or an unconscious participant. Second, once you've decided upon, or how would you, I guess I gotta rewind. How would you do that? Pray, talk up, talk to, write a letter, meditate. I started meditating, I started praying, and I wrote letters. I sang songs that I made up in my head, and I sung out loud the things that I wanted. And my higher power, albeit I didn't know it then, but they were listening, or it was listening, he was listening, my dad was listening. And I'm getting chills. So, good forms of healing are silencing your mind, stopping the monkey mind, stopping the overthinking, because that's not coming from the right spot anyway. That's coming from logic base. We don't need logic right now. We need infinite possibility. And we don't get that from logic. Not often. I can't say always. There's always an exception to every rule, but I will say this. For the overthinker, You're more capable than anybody to talk yourself right out of a miracle. And you know it, because you've probably done it, and you've known you've done that too. What if I said you were the miracle? There's only one of you in all of this existence. One of you. Just one. I'm pulling cards, just so you know, for the next step forward. I've got my first card, which I'm just placing on my leg as I talk, and second card. How many cards? So, I'm not quite sure why 3 seems to be the happy number today, but it does. Okay. So, getting out in nature, grounding yourself. What is grounding? It's, believe it or not, we're emitting energies all the time. Up through the feet, through the head, back down, and it's constantly. You can lose your balance real quickly, especially if you're gifted. So when you ground into earth, it grounds your energy. It gives you a place to anchor. Yeah. So it calms you. It stabilizes you, brings you stability. It'll also bring you growth. So, what are some small steps that you can take to move to heal this? I just listed some. Team player came out, and the message I got here was you could do, and this is entirely the question, some sort of therapy. Okay, as a counselor, I'm all about talk therapy, as long as it's about solutions, solution focused, and it's based in optimism and alternative ways to heal. I'm all about it. And then, so that's why Team Players is here. Having, this will help you build a positive relationship too with another person, and the trust aspect. Okay. Friends in high places. So, it could correlate to the team player. This could be somebody you already know, who's a friend, but your friends might be important at this time, or a new friend might be important. Okay, I just heard making some new friends might be important. Top of the deck. Yeah, C specialist. So, for some of you, alternative might do well too. You could go get even some cranial sacral therapy, or we could do, I just heard past life regression, but I'm also seeing acupuncture, or even hot stone therapy, hot massage, cupping. I am getting a very holistic approach here, though, to this. The key here is the persistence and the consistency, right? Persistence is key is on the bottom. 4444 on my timer too. So needing to do this on a consistent and persistent basis. Sticking with it. And for those of you who work all the time, needing a break, a getaway. I know I'm in that boat. I've, because of my circumstances, have been pushed into working almost daily for years without a break. And it's been really difficult, to say the very least. So I definitely understand. You'll get the answers you need through these new connections. I'm hoping to give you some here. You're going to get to a point where you can say, I don't hide any part of myself. And I love that. I'm actually getting chills through my body here. This is one of my favorite. Learning to love everything about yourself to the point where you're not afraid to say no to anybody. No. Hello? No. Nourishing yourself, mind, body, and soul. It's key. It's key. Especially if you're trying to avoid feeling taken for granted and conflict. Maybe you're somebody who hates conflict and you're a people pleaser because you just don't see the point in, you dread conflict, dreading conflict, you know? So you're like, we'll do it, but you don't really want to do it. You really don't. You have this thing about being vulnerable. You don't want to be vulnerable. It makes you feel like you're out of control, like you don't have any control. So it's not a good feeling for you, maybe. Take what resonates and leave the rest, okay? So at the end of the day, these are the wounds that are to be healed. Let's give a lot more. I'm feeling guided to this deck. Okay. What else can we do? Okay. Okay, bottom of the deck. Prioritize reflection. So mirror work. Reflecting on yourself, learning to love yourself, maybe thinking about what's really the issue. I would say, you know, doing this with a specialist or a therapist or a counselor. Okay, the number here is 32, that you could be 32, or you could be seeing that number, right? Yeah, confession. So, confessing just to get that outside of you. You see how that big, you know, black smoke is coming out of this person's solar plexus. Yeah, it's stifling when you feel that kind of, those emotions, because they can make you ill. Okay, what else? We're being told to shuffle. second time we've seen this. Trust your intuition. Now look at that, 23. That number is mirroring 32, 23, 23, 32. So trust your intuition and do the mirror work. Full moon could be important. This is the full moon. The stars, stargazing. You're being asked not to use your eyes and not to overthink, but to trust yourself with something. To trust the feelings, and then learning to set healthy boundaries with 25. Not only, and there's another full moon, not only learning to set them, but to hold them. So, oh, okay. Hope is on the horizon for you. 48. So you could have seen a shooting star recently, or you might see one. That would really confirm this reading for you. Especially the hope on the horizon. And then learning to set goals and sticking with it. What did I say earlier? It's about consistency. So, yeah, the day you plant the seed. So you set the goal, you plant the seed. They're not always the same day you're going to, reap the harvest, right? You got to do the work. You got to show up every day and maintain whatever you planted here. Yeah, you got to rehabilitate yourself. Some of you need rehab, and I mean that for drug and alcohol. But it could be mental rehab. You could be reconstructing your mindset, And this is going to take disconnecting. Disconnecting socially. This could be disconnecting from family, friends, putting yourself in in-person, rehab. Away from everything and everyone. This could be disconnecting from social media as well. And then taking care of your body, eating better, juicing, exercising, going vegan, fasting. I'm getting tons of downloads on this front. Changing it up. But not only that, focusing on heart health. I mean, there's a lot of green here, and that's your heart. So somebody's got some heart issues, heart chakra issues too, closed off to love. And in order to learn to love yourself, you got to start where it is. Mother or father wounds, which would indicate there was no real love given to you as a child. Binaural beats. That's how I did it. Every day. For a long time. Months and months. And crying. But understanding that the people who wounded me were wounded themselves, and that's how I was capable of holding space and grace for them. We're not born parents. We're not born knowing how to be even good people, let alone parents, good parents at that. Have to learn to be that. And typically when you have a good person that's damaged, they'll come away from the damage and be like, if I have kids, I'm never doing that to my kids. And they're talking about the things that they went through. Not necessarily that they've healed that, but that's how they want to heal it, is through making sure their kids don't go through it. You want to really know how you can help that with your kids? Heal yourself while you're doing that. Then they'll see dad or mom really kicking some butt and taking some numbers. They'll see dad and mom loving themselves and really becoming the best, you know, action taker and provider. Nurturer. Because I'm a single parent. I'm both. Some of you are not. So whatever role it is you play, you'll become much more astute and good at it as you learn. Yeah, you'll become the best version of you. Facts. Absolutely. So, any other? Okay. So, so what are some things that could be happening? How could I move forward is more the... Yeah. I'm using another deck. Let go of the guilt. Some of you, it could be needing to get... You could be going through legal issues. I heard somebody needs a divorce. No, somebody needs to divorce somebody. I don't know anything about this. I just hear what I hear and I say it. Somebody needs to get a divorce. Your energy's here. And I love you. I know I'm twice divorced. There is no shame in that. Especially if you're being abused. And you know you are. Second time with boundaries. Learn to set boundaries and hold them. People have been crossing your boundaries or testing them. You really do need to draw a boundary and never, ever, ever go back on it. Like ever. Teach people about the new you that exists. There's power in loving yourself. Working on your heart chakra. The power of love is a magnet. Learning to love you will help others learn to love you too. What do I mean by that? Everybody thinks that people should know how to love. They don't. Most people have no idea how to love because a lot of people don't even know how to love themselves. Hello. You're talking to somebody who is officially not in love with themselves. And I'll admit, I've never had true love. I've never... Why? Because I was in process of learning to love myself. Now I'm waiting for, my kingdom spouse, and this will be my one true love. Power of love. When you learn to love yourself, you're showing the world, this is how I love. And it's like you're advertising, basically, to the world your own personal health and well-being. It's like a sign in your window front. If you don't know how to love me this way, please don't apply. Just keep going. Basically, when you can love yourself, you are resonating with the world at a certain frequency, and only those at that frequency will even recognize you or be able to get to you. It's important because it's a very beautiful armor that will protect you from harm even. Because when you learn to love you, you become more attractive than you've ever been in your life. Why? Nobody knows how to love themselves. Self-love is gorgeous. And not in an arrogant way. No, it's beauty from the inside that pulsates outward. You glow. You begin to glow different. There's a power there. Yeah, the world begins to recognize you differently when you step into self-love. And, you know, once you connect with your higher power, divine, my Father, He is how I learned to love myself. Admittedly, divine. I've had 0 people in this life help me on my journey. It was all divine. That's my testimony. Divine never gave up on me. And divine made me see how lovable I was and how worth loving I was. Even when the world quit, He never did. And that to me is priceless. For somebody who lost everything, and I do mean everything, every person, family, friend, job, becoming homeless. I'm still living in a hotel. Divine was the only one who stuck by my side. Protected me, guided me, loved me, cherished me, and said, hey, you matter, and here's why. And He showed me my gifts. Having a higher power is a really important part of my journey. Take what resonates for you. But I'm telling you, on my lowest days, and some of them were so low, I wanted to be unalived. And there was no way that was going to happen. I'd look down in meditation and only see one set of footprints in that sand. And I knew it was because my dad was carrying me on those days. When you love yourself, know that you are seeing the divine part of you, the divine love, your divine essence. And it is like an armor, and it can shield you from so much negativity. Trust me. I could talk about it in another, if you want, maybe tomorrow even, how divine love is a shield. Maybe I will. That's what we'll talk about tomorrow. But, you know, once you step into that, the world will recognize you differently and hold you differently and learn to cherish you differently. In fact, people who didn't cherish you before will step to you trying to cherish you, and you're going to have to, as a test, because your higher power wants to know, have you really learned the lessons you were supposed to learn? Because all those people coming back, you better be saying no to. Most of them haven't done any work, if any. They're still stuck in a maze. One that they, in a bunch of confusion. And you're not there anymore. You went towards your higher power in yourself and you got clarity. That would be God. This is the devil. This is darkness. And then you run around with like a chicken with your head cut off. So they come to you for clarity, and you're supposed to say no. And you'll know, because you'll be in that spot where you're like, yeah, I know. Your soul will know. Soul love. So again, when you start learning to love yourself and you're healing these wounds one right after another, things, like I've said, in your life, within you and around you, begin to change. You'll begin to attract in even your person, love. You'll attract in new opportunities. You have balance. You'll balance out yourself too. Yeah, heart. Again, that's the third time with the heart. Work on your heart chakra, because this is where your challenges lie. Trust. And then it's a picture of getting married. So for some of you, it's learning to trust other people because you've been hurt by people you've had commitments with. Rather deeply, rather. And it doesn't have to be a marriage commitment. This could even be an employer or a friend or a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Even family member. Because contract is contract. A soul contract is still a commitment. You're going to share past lives? So, and then I guess at the end of the day, just staying committed to yourself deeply and consistently is what I heard. Yeah. It'll get easier. So that's what I have for you on this Saturday, the last day of February. Know that you matter, because you do. In a world of 8 billion people plus, there's only one of you, one. The love you want and deserve starts with you first. You're needed in this world. You are. And if you were missing, this world would be incomplete. It would. That's why you're here, right? I hope so. Either way, thank you for showing up, and I hope to see you tomorrow or the next time. Till then, take care of yourself and each other. I love you. Be well. Bye.